Morning everyone. Hope you all are fit and fine students. Yes beta, today we will discuss exercise of chapter number 6, the helpful young man. So students, let's begin with the part A, understanding the story. These are question answers. Why did the young man go to the remote sea? Yes students, the young man went to the remote sea to bring the ash of the eyes of a particular fish so that his father's eyesight could be restored. वो यंग मैन बेटा रिमोट सी में क्यों गया था? ताकि बेटे वो वहाँ जाकर एक पार्टिकुलर फिश की आइज़ की ऐश ला सके. और वो किस लिए लाना चाहता था बेटा ऐश? सो दैट हिज फादर्स आईसाइट कुड बी रिस्टोर्ड, ताकि उसके फादर की आईसाइट वापिस आ जाए. Why did the elder brothers become jealous of the youngest brother? The elder brothers became jealous of the youngest brother because he was successful in bringing the ash from the remote ocean which cured the father's blindness. बेटा elder brothers जो है उससे jealousy क्यों करने लग गए थे? क्योंकि बेटा वो brother जो है youngest brother वो successful रहा था bringing the ash from the remote ocean. वो remote ocean में जाकर दूर जाकर बेटा वो ash ले आया था एंड विच क्योर द फादर्स ब्लाइंडनेस, और इससे फादर की आई साइट जो है बेटा वापस आ गई थी. एंड द फियर्ड द एल्डर ब्रदर से बेटा उन्हें क्या डर था? दैट द फादर वुड मेक हिम द सोल हेयर टू हिज प्रॉपर्टी, कि जो फादर हैं वो सारी की सारी प्रॉपर्टी हैं वो जो किसे दे देंगे? सिर्फ हमारे यंगेस्ट ब्रदर को. उन्हें ये डर था कि अब हमें कुछ भी नहीं मिलेगा हमारी मनी में से पापा की, तो अब सारी की सारी प्रॉपर्टी जो भी है वो पापा हमारे किसको दे देंगे? हमारे यंगेस्ट ब्रदर को, उसी को उत्तराधिकारी बना देंगे. दैट्स स्टूडेंट्स दे फियर्ड एंड दे बिकम jealous of their youngest brother. Now beta, let's move on to the third one. How did the young man save the buck and the jackal? The buck said in a trembling voice that the hunters were after him, कि hunters मेरे पीछे पड़े हुए हैं, and requested the young man to help him. The young man hid him in ditch. Young man ने उसे बेटे एक ditch में छुपा दिया and covered him with grass and leaves. उसको grass और leaves के साथ cover कर दिया. The hunters could not see him and thus he helped the buck from the hunters. और इस तरीके से बेटा उसने hunter से उसकी help की. And in the same way he saved the life of the jackal. What proclamation had the princess of the strange palace made? Now students, what do you mean by proclamation? It means students declared. Declare करना, घोषणा करके रखना. Okay बेटा? The princess had proclaimed, the princess had declared, princess ने क्या declare कर रखा था बेटा? That she would marry the man who could evade his reflection in the magic mirror, but he would be beheaded if placed in the mirror. Evade का meaning students क्या होता है? अवॉइड करना. प्रिंसेस ने ये डिक्लेयर किया हुआ था बेटा कि वो उस पर्सन से मैरिज करेगी जो अपने रिफ्लेक्शन इस मिरर में आने से अवॉइड कर लेगा. जिसकी रिफ्लेक्शन इस मिरर में नहीं आएगी वो इससे मैरिज कर लेगी. बट ही वुड बी हैडेड, बट उसको जो है उसको बी हैडेड कर दिया जाएगा इफ़ ट्रेस इन द मिरर, अगर वो मिरर में ट्रेस हो जाता है. इट वॉज अ कंडीशन. ओके. हाउ डिड द 3 एनिमल्स, द फिश, the buck and the jackal, repay the kindness of the young man? Question number 5. Yes students, how did these 3 animals repay the kindness of the young man? Yes beta, they all helped him in his need. How beta, कैसे help की थी उन्होंने? The fish kept him in its stomach and went deep into the ocean. The buck took him to the remote hills, and the jackal and his friends dug a tunnel from the forest to the prince's bed and hid him under the bed. And students, this time the young man succeeded to evade himself in the mirror. और बेटा लास्ट में जो है young man successful रहा था to evade himself in the mirror. Now beta, let's move on to the question number 6. How did the young man finally conquer the princess? Yes beta, the jackal and his friends helped him to hide. They dug a tunnel from the forest to the princess' bed and hid him. Hid him means छुपा दिया. Okay, hid का mean बेटा छुपा देना. And hid him under the bed. And this time the princess could not trace him out. और इस वक्त बेटा जो princess है उसको trace नहीं कर पाई थी. And students, that's why she lost the game. Now beta, let's move on to the hot spot. Why did the princess allow the young man extra chances to hide himself? Yes beta, why princess allowed him extra chances? Because today she considered him a brave and interesting person. क्योंकि बेटा उसे क्या लगता था कि वो brave person है और interesting person है. That way students she allowed him. The princess allowed him extra chances to hide himself because she considered him a brave and interesting person. Now beta, let's move on to the values part. How did the young man's goodness fetch him support in the time of need? The young man's goodness fetched him support in the time of need as he had saved the life of the fish, the buck and the jackal respectively. And this shows that he was a good human being. और इसे क्या पता चलता है कि वो बहुत अच्छा human being था, बहुत अच्छा इंसान था. He was a very kind person बेटा. All three animals, fish, buck and jackal. Okay, all these three animals helped the young man in the time of need. So बेटा, one should always be kind and helpful. बेटा इसलिए हमें भी हमेशा kind और helpful बनना चाहिए as a young man. Okay students. Now beta, let's move on to the part B. Given below in the boxes is a story you have read in a jumbled form. Rearrange the jumbled sentences and reconstruct the story in your notebook. Beta, you can write down this in your rough notebook, or beta in your books also you can write down the numbering. Also mark the route of the young man's adventurous journey in the map given on page number 35. Yes beta, let's start with the first one. First one student, first sentence, goes to the ocean to fetch the fish. Then beta, write down number 2, cures his father's eyes with magical sand. Then beta, let's move on to the third number. It's leaves his home and goes away to a forest. It's number 3. Write the number 3 here beta in your box. Then beta, helps a buck and a jackal. Number 4. Then reaches a strange palace and meets a princess. Number 5. Then accepts the princess challenge. Number 6. Then students, goes to the fish for help. Number 7. Then goes to the buck for help. Number 8. And after that students, goes to the jackal for help. Number 9. Goes to the jackal for help. Number 9. Then students, hides in a tunnel under the princess' bed. Number 10. Then the princess accepts her defeat. 11 number. And last one students, gets married to the princess. Number 12. So beta, you can write down the numbering in your books, and after that students, you can write down the story in your rough notebooks. I am repeating the story students. Listen it carefully again. First goes to the ocean to fetch the fish. Then cures his father's eyes with magical sand. After the students, leaves his home and goes away to a forest and helps a buck and a jackal. Then students, after that, reaches a strange palace and meets a princess and accepts the princess challenge. And after that, students, goes to the fish for help, then goes to the buck for help, and then goes to the jackal for help. And at number 10 students, hides in a tunnel under the princess' bed. And after that students, the princess accepts her defeat and gets married to the princess. Like this students, you have to write down the numbering as well as story. Now beta, let's move on to the life skills part. Given below are some adjectives. On the basis of your comprehension of the story, put these in appropriate boxes under suitable characters. You can also add some more adjectives. बेटा जो भी adjectives दे रखे हैं इनको तो आपको चूज़ करना ही है बेटा. इसके अलावा other adjectives also बेटा you can write. So students, let's move on to the first one. The young man. Young man was brave, kind, honest, courageous, intelligent, daring. Daring का मीनिंग क्या होता है? साहसी, साहस वाला था वो. ओके. The young man was brave, kind, honest, courageous, intelligent, daring. And his brothers, they were beta greedy, jealous, coward. And the three animals, helpful. And last one, the princess, clever and beautiful. She was clever and beautiful. Hope students that all of you have understood well now. Now beta, do part B and life skills in your books. Okay, and then students write in question answers in your fair notebook. Okay beta, thanks and have a nice day. Bye bye beta.